call.
Freeholder
Call the roll.
Freeholder Amoroso.
I'm here.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Here.
Freeholder Tonelli is absent. Freeholder Voss.
Here.
Freeholder Zur.
Here.
Chairman Sullivan.
Here. Evidence of a quorum is present. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will everyone kindly remain standing? I ask for a moment of silence as we remember former State Senator, Bergen County Freeholder, and Waldwood Councilman Frank Herbert, who passed away on September 27, 2018, at the age of 87. Senator Herbert was a sponsor of the 1979 bill that created the statewide public transportation agency known as New Jersey Transit. I ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. Before we, it's gonna be a tough night. Some water? Before we begin tonight's meeting, we have a presentation in recognition of Resolution 996-18, recognizing October 2018 as Blindness Awareness Month, which the Freeholder Board will be voting on tonight. We have with us tonight Chris Marino, Executive Director of Vision Loss Alliances of New Jersey, along with Tricia Ebel, a former Vision Loss Alliance participant, who is now Director of the Adjustment to the Vision Loss at Heightened Independence and Progress in Hackensack. Would you please join us to receive your commendation? I ask the Freeholder Board to come down and join us, please. How are you? That's perfect. How are you?
Hi, I'm Tricia Ebel.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
How
to
are
meet
you?
you too. I'm very well, thank you. And this is Astro.
Who's being rude?
Astro, come
He's
on
not
down.
being rude. He's smelling my dog, Princess, right?
That's what it was. Down, good boy.
We have a proclamation from the county executive for you as well as ours. I'm going to ask our vice chairwoman just to read the last couple whereases from the county executive, and then we'll present one from the Freeholder Board, okay?
Whereas for 75 years, the Vision Loss Alliance. Sorry. Whereas Blindness Awareness Month is recognized each October to help create greater understanding, especially among sighted people, about the realities of living without sight. And whereas for 75 years, the Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey has been empowering women, men, and children with profound vision loss to live productive and independent lives, using programs and services to build confidence within the blind community and improve quality of life for those with vision impairment and loss. And whereas on behalf of the people of Bergen County, I joined the Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey in recognizing Blindness Awareness Month and working throughout the great year to support individuals living with profound vision loss. This is from our County Executive, Jim Tedesco. Thank you.
And we have a resolution from...
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank God.
She does, yeah, right. Just so you know, she does this everywhere we go.
So it's not the microphone.
So we have a resolution from the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders, and I am going to read the whole thing because I think it's important for everyone to hear this. Whereas Blindness Awareness Month was designed to help people understand the realities of living without sight, and whereas the World Health Organization estimates that almost 285 million people suffer from blindness or visual impairment worldwide. In the United States, about 4 million Americans are blind and 47,000 become blind each year. And whereas it is hard to detect whether a baby is born blind or not, and blindness can be genetic or inherited. However, other individuals usually become blind in later years of life. Individuals with visions worse than 20/200 are known to be legally blind in the United States. And whereas an individual who is lacking visual perception or has vision that cannot be corrected with glasses or contact lenses is considered blind. An individual who is legally blind does not have some sight but still needs help getting around. An individual who has total blindness is not able to see light or shapes. And whereas the main cause of blindness in the United States are diabetes, cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, chemical burns, and sports injuries. Throughout the rest of the world, cataracts, trachoma, leprosy, and vitamin A deficiencies remain the leading cause of blindness. And whereas other circumstances that lead to blindness are complications of premature birth, complications of eye surgery, lazy eye, optic neuritis, stroke, and lead poisoning. And whereas Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey seeks to empower those with profound vision loss to live engaged, productive, and independent lives through our programs and services that build confidence and improve the quality of life for all individuals living with the profound vision loss. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders hereby recognizes and declares October 2018 as Blindness Awareness Month in the County of Bergen. And be it resolved that the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders does hereby commend and recognize Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey for the continuing work in fostering independence for those with vision loss and encouraging awareness in the community. Presented by the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Thank you very much.
Okay, if I say a few minutes?
Sure, yeah.
Here, why don't we make the noise this way? Chris Marino. I'm Chris Marino. I'm the Executive Director of Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey. And as they said in the proclamation, we have been in operation for 75 years. This is our 75th anniversary this October. So, but we also, in addition to our office in Denville, we have a location in Bergen, which I'm not sure everybody is aware of, in Ridgewood. So we opened a satellite site in Bergen about 4 years ago, where we have people coming there. We're also in Essex County as well, because it's very difficult for people to get to any location on the New Jersey transit system, which I understand somebody from here founded. I brought with me today Tricia Bell, who was a former student of New Jersey Foundation for the Blind, now Vision Loss Alliance of New Jersey, and now works in Hackensack. So I thought it would be appropriate to bring her along, as she works for an agency working for the vision loss, the Adjustment to Vision Loss Project. So you want to say?
Yes, definitely. Sure. Can I show up? Okay. So is there, am I close enough? Oh, I hear it. Okay, got it. All righty. All righty. My name is Tricia Ebel, and I'm really happy to be here tonight. This is Astro. Astro is my seeing eye dog. To make a very long story short, back in early 2000s, I started to lose my vision. I didn't know what to do. I became very afraid. I was scared. I did not want to go out. My 2 children were teenagers. They started going out. I was left home alone, and it got to the point where I was even afraid to go out and get the garbage cans in front of the house. No joke. I found out about Vision Loss Alliance. I started taking classes there, learning my independent living skills, activities of daily living, mobility, and I would say that Vision Loss Alliance created a monster, because since then I've been unstoppable. I run the Adjustment to Vision Loss program here in Hackensack for individuals in Bergen County and beyond that are blind and visually impaired. I have several support groups, lots of information, referrals, and resources, and training, and Vision Loss Alliance and Heightened Independence and Progress. We work along together to help others be able to live independent lives with dignity and grace. Thank you.
I'm going to leave you with a folder of information, including invitations to we have a 75th anniversary gala on October 25th. In Randolph, New Jersey, and I'll leave you with invitations. We'd love to see you there, or spread the word.
We will.
So,
Thank you very
Great.
much.
And I have some information on the Adjustment to Vision Loss Project and my business cards that I'll leave as well.
Okay, great.
All righty.
so if you know of anybody who
Yeah.
needs our services,
Brian will come take that from
yep,
you. Yes, thank
please
you.
refer.
So we're all standing here, but I just want to say thank you both for everything.
Thank you.
My mother was legally blind at the end of her life from diabetes, and I know, what it's all about.
Yes.
And I know that obviously these programs are what really helps, so thank you so much for everything you do. I mean, it's really something that we need, and we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you
I'll put the
guys.
mic
We
over.
do. Thank you,
you.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Astro, good job, bro.
We're right on 131 Main Street. Come and visit us.
You are an inspiration to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Have a great night.
Too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You know that? Astro.
I didn't name him. Yeah, it is. It's fitting.
Thank you so much.
Okay, will the clerk please read the minutes to be accepted?
Minutes to be accepted are August 15th, public session, Freeholder Gans absent. August 22nd, work session, all present. September 5th, work session, and September 5th, public session, all present for both meetings.
May I please have a motion to accept the minutes?
Move the minute.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimously approved. We will now have the hearing of the Yes.
Please note that any of those minutes that I was not present for, I am abstaining.
Right, as per the bylaws, if you
Thank you.
wanted to read the minutes, you could still vote on them, but I understand if you didn't. Thank you. We will now have the hearing of the general public with a 3-minute time limit in effect in accordance with the Bergen County Freeholder bylaws. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the board attorney will announce the time has expired. Please fill out the slip of paper with your name, address, and general topic of which you speak about. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are now in open. Paul Nichols, I'm gonna get you first, because you're the best looking guy here.
Good evening, thank you. Paul Nichols. A couple, I guess last month, a gentleman came from the, what is it called, the County Administrations Association, I think, of New Jersey, I can't remember the name. But he mentioned Homeless Trust Fund and Code Blue. And it had me thinking, because I heard that before, and I emailed everybody. I took this off of Monarch's website, Monarch Housing, the one that we do the point-in-time count with. And that gentleman had mentioned that you could take money from the Homeless Trust Fund. I would hope that none of that money goes anywhere other than where it's going now, because I know there's a committee that does that, but I'm just letting you know it's a really small amount compared to all the, the homeless stuff. But I did some research, and I also emailed you something from, there's a thing in FEMA. It's the, I forgot what it's called, but it's has something to do with disasters and cold weather events. And if you look on page 19 or 20 of the booklet that it is, it has where there's funding for Code Blue type. It doesn't say Code Blue, but it says vulnerable and homeless and that kind of thing during weather events. So I'm just thinking that that's the same thing. So maybe if you guys aren't already using that, maybe you guys can look into that and see where money can come from, because I do know that all these towns, there's some towns that did some really wonderful things last year with bringing homeless to the shelter and safety during Code Blue events, And it also says in that FEMA booklet that I emailed you that it also covers promoting it too. I personally think that homeless need to know when it's Code Blue if they're not already at the center, So I think it's important. Maybe you guys know this kind of stuff better than I do. When I see the word Homeless Trust Fund or Code Blue, I'll tell you, I'll never forget the A815 Assembly Bill when they passed Code Blue, because that was a really good thing, So I would hope that You know, there's only like 3 agencies that get this homeless trust fund money. So I would hope that it would not be diverted and that maybe all this kind of stuff can come from FEMA. Because I just think, you know, the federal government's the one that, FEMA is OEM, and Code Blue is an OEM program. It's not a shelter program, really. I mean, it has to do with a shelter, but I would think FEMA should fund it. Let them fund it. So get the money, I would think get the money from them, right? But you guys are experts at looking into that kind of stuff, so I hope you guys can find some money and get these towns and OEMs some money to do some more work this year. I hope we don't have Code Blue too much this year. I like cool weather, but not freezing cold weather. But thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
And the man that you were talking about is from NJAC, which is New Jersey Association of Counties. Okay, you got it, my friend. Lawrence White.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Lawrence White, resident of Englewood, theatrical stagehand. I left my phone number. I could probably help you get a quieter gooseneck for this microphone.
I'll give you Tonelli's direct number.
I'm here this evening because, like many of my fellow citizens, we were shocked and dismayed at the recorded comments of former Chief Sodino, and I'd like to compliment the board for any actions that might have taken that hastened the resignation of him and his top echelon from the Sheriff's Department. But in light of those remarks and those resignations, my concern is about the conditions at the Bergen County Jail for both criminal and civil detainees there, and that the specter of racism and policies and practices that might be motivated by that are causing bad conditions for the criminal and civil detainees at the jail. My particular concern is for the immigrant detainee population there who are there on civil offenses. They are not criminals, and they are not being punished. And I would hope that an investigation be undertaken to make sure that the mindset of the top echelon of the Sheriff's Department has not impacted detrimentally those detainees there, and to also investigate whether or not the monies being received with the bed contract are being used to provide essential services, legal, health, educational services for those detainees at the Bergen County Jail. Additionally, I know that you folks don't have any direct connection with the County Democratic Committee, but I know a person personally who was in the room yesterday when Mr. Curitin was nominated, and that process was anything but open and transparent. And so I would like for you folks to encourage and support any debates that could be scheduled between now and Election Day, given the short time period between now and Election Day, so that we may have open debate and be able to make a very considered choice for the next sheriff of the county. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your remarks. I just want to point out a few things.
Yes, sir.
Just the Bergen County Jail has been rated one of the better jails for the way the inmates are treated, for the conditions of the jail, for health benefits that have gone to the inmates. So I don't, regardless of what happens, and I understand, and Bergen County Jail is definitely not. I don't want to make it out to sound like it's a bad place that is running amok. That's not the situation.
Okay.
I understand your concerns, but even in the articles that have been written, the one thing that's been said about the Bergen County Jail is that it's clean, it's neat, it's run efficiently, all the inmates are treated fairly, and the health benefits are there for the inmates.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Just in response to that, though, being connected with people involved with First Friends and other direct service organizations, that there are still some deficiencies
I'm sure
in
no
the
one's perfect.
in the
That's 3 minutes,
services.
Mr. White.
Excuse me?
That's 3 minutes.
Well, I was just responding to Mr. Sullivan's
Okay, you can
response to me.
You can finish. I don't mind.
So, thank you, Mr. Sullivan. So I would welcome an overture to the service groups to have some dialogue to make sure that all the services that the civil detainees need are being met adequately. I know for a fact that there's no contact visits allowed there.
Right,
And,
I mean,
and,
that's-
and there are other issues that I can't fully speak to because being a stagehand, I don't have time to do detainee visits. But I would just like for there to be a dialogue, especially in light of recent events, just so that
Understood.
everybody feels like the jail is a safe place for immigrant detainees and that they're getting all the services that they need.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. Gail Gottlieb?
I believe Larry spoke on my behalf.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
The only question I do have, though.
If you have a question, you have to put-
No problem.
Gail Gottlieb, G-A-L-E-G-O-T-T-L-I-E, B like boy. Okay. Have there been additional bids that have just recently been contracted for in the Bergen County facility?
I don't understand what your question is.
My question is, in the, just what I said, in other words, the contract could be that there are X number of beds for the detainees. Has that number been increased recently as a result of contract negotiations? I mean, I may not know this for sure.
doesn't
but I
work
just
that way.
It's Freeholder, you can.
It doesn't work that way. It's where there is an increase, because of bail reform, which was a huge movement towards making sure that bail was imposed, that the presumption was to release individuals into the community. There was more space at the jail, but there's no contract that works that way with ICE, from my understanding. You should also
As I
understand
said,
that
I
this
may not
board
know. I
doesn't
just-
supervise that contract in any way, shape, or form. It's with the sheriff's department, that's with the sheriff, which is a separate constitutional office. We don't oversee that contract with ICE.
Okay, thank you. I
Thank you very
hope
much.
that you can take what Larry said into
Sure, absolutely.
consideration.
Susan Venna? Did I get that right?
Yes.
Thank you.
But Vina, Vena,
You answered it.
Vita Vada Vegerin.
like the vein, Vena, Susan Vena, Fort Lee. Larry White also, I thought he did a great job, but I'm also here also interested to see about who will be the nominees for our next county sheriff. And that I just hope that we have enough information to make a wise decision on that. And again, I appreciate the swift action that was taken.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Kate Jerome?
Good evening. I know that you don't oversee the contracts for the jail,
Right.
and I know it's not on your agenda right now, but I just wanted to tell you a few things that you're probably aware of. It would be nice if those things were improved. The contact visits have to be there. I also heard that some people, when they are ill, especially with mental illnesses, the nurses are not told what the illness is. So they're going to these hospitals, as they should, but the nurse is unaware of what she's supposed to be treating them for. So that should be looked into. And the other thing is, the criminals in jail have access to education. The detainees don't. And there are people that want to voluntarily teach them ESL, and they are not allowed to go into the jail. So look into the educational options for them,
We will.
okay?
Thank you.
Just to make it better.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Stephen Quinn. Good to see you again, Mr. Quinn.
It's good to be back. I'm here, this is Steve Quinn. I'm chairman of the Ridgefield Park Environmental Commission, and I'm here to speak in opposition to the placement of field station dinosaurs in Area 2 and its parking lot in Area 2 of Overpeck County Park. But first, I really must express a true debt of thanks to all of you on the board of Freeholders for your support of the open space, Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund. Ridgefield Park was just awarded a grant to support the creation of a interpretive trail and boardwalk through its nature preserve, and Freeholder Zur and County Executive James Tedesco were present in our town on Monday to present that check to the mayor, and really it will give us such a great opportunity to develop that land as an educational facility. And by the way, we will be developing a trail, special interpretive nature trail for the sight impaired at that site. But on the other topic, with your great track record in supporting open space and the environment, I would urge you to please consider doing the same in terms of developing Area 2 as the sort of educational area that it really should be in the county. It's one of the few remaining open spaces left in Bergen County. It's a real gem. There's been some confusion about defining it as a dump, but all based on how do you define a dump. There are 11 distinct small areas where construction debris has been deposited, which will have to be mitigated. But the rest, the lion's share of those 75 acres are in beautiful condition. When you think of how the northern part of the county benefits from having Ramapo Reservation, Darlington, Camp Gaw, and those beautiful natural areas for their residents to walk through, this is one of those opportunities that you can take advantage of here in southern Bergen County. It's a beautiful, beautiful space. So please save it as a natural area and vote no, please, on the placement of the dinosaurs there. Thanks for your time.
Just to clarify, just one thing there is that we didn't say the whole area is a dump. Parts that need to be remediated are the parts that were the dump. That's what was said. So, you know, I know people are trying to throw it around. I know you're not. People are saying it. You know, we're taking a little, we're taking a hard stand because it's a dump. We know what parts are the dump and what parts aren't to work. Okay? Thank you. Laura Tracy Call.
Laura, L-A-U-R-A, Tracy, T-R-A-C-E-Y, Cole, C-O-L-L. Good evening. At the last meeting, Freeholder Zur said that in regard to Field Station Dinosaur, that you had no agreements and you have no information and that you have nothing before you.
That's what I said.
Okay.
I didn't say no information. We
All
have
right.
nothing before us to vote
That's
on.
good. Where will these agreements come from? And who's the contact person?
So the agreements will come from the county executive. I assume, right? Is that correct?
Administration,
The
yes.
administration, right?
Okay, do you have a schedule for when the new schedule, with the new agreement or contracts would be signed?
Mike, do you have anything? Do you have any idea?
There's
Nothing right
not
at the
an
moment?
exact timetable.
Not at the moment.
Okay, is there a liaison on this project, or is it just,
I do not know.
Somebody is running point from the administration.
You could call and ask for Mike Bellucci, and he'll get you in touch with whom the point person is. Mike is one of our administrators.
okay. And do you have a liaison to the Parks Department?
That would be Steve Tonelli, I believe. Right?
Yes.
The freeholders are.
Freeholder Steve Tonelli.
Freeholder Steve Tonelli
He's
is
the
the chair.
liaison from the board.
Okay. I would like to look at the site plans and the engineering plans for Leonia and for the Teaneck site. What department would have those?
I would probably say the Parks Department, but I would do this, I would get in touch with either Mike Bellucci or Julian Neals, have all these questions for him, and they will give you the proper, instead of going through them one by one right now, they will tell you exactly who to be in touch with, and it'll be a lot more accurate.
Okay, I have done that, but no one is answering, and they're sending my questions to Oprah, which I'm surprised at that from an attorney, because they know
Well,
that
if you're gonna ask for-
Oprah is not a research bureau.
If you're gonna
It's-
ask for records, then you have to open the records.
Right, but
That's-
I need to know the departments. What role does the Bergen County Improvement Authority play in this?
I don't think they have a role in this right now.
Did the director sign the last agreement, Mr. Ranguso?
I'm not aware of that.
I was told to Oprah that department, and you know that that's not a department on your Oprah form.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a separate and distinct authority. They have their own Oprah form.
Right, but in your Oprah form on page 2, you list all the departments you can Oprah, and it's
Because
not
that's not a
there.
county department, it is a separate authority.
Okay, so the general public has no idea
If you go
where to
onto the
send it.
website and go onto the Bergen Improvement Authority, it's there.
I did forward an email to them, and they never acknowledge that they get it. So who is the Oprah, does anyone know?
This is why I'm telling you to call
I'm
Mike
gonna-
Bellucci.
Yes.
He'll take care of all of your concerns, instead of having this crosstalk that's not gonna,
Well, no, it's helping
3
me
minutes, Ms. Cole.
we
significantly.
don't have all, those
Yeah.
answers, you don't have the proper areas that you're searching. Mike will help you go to the proper areas to search.
Okay, thank you.
Brian is gonna give you one of my business cards.
All
Just
right.
went to grab.
Thank you. Mary Walsh.
WALSH, Hackensack, New Jersey. I'm with the North Jersey group of the Sierra Club. Let it be. Most of us are familiar with the Beatles song, Let It Be. In this case, I think we're referring to the dinosaurs. We've heard they like where they are. And if they stay there, we preserve all these lovely acres of land. About a couple weeks ago, Sierra Club and a couple other people were in the park gathering names on a petition. I think you heard that already. So I was quite surprised today when I was looking at the petition, the people who signed, these were people who were walking. And the first thing that happened when we told them what this possible plan was, invariably they said no. Like, it wasn't like, oh, that's terrible, but it was no. The people were from Ridgefield Park, Leonia, Teaneck, Fort Lee, Cliffside Park, Tenafly, Englewood, Hackensack, Oakland, Paramus, Lyndhurst, Maywood, Garfield, and other towns, which shows you the great love that people have for Overpeck Park. So the people come to the park to walk, and it will not bother them if they have to park to see the dinosaurs over near the tennis courts. There really is no need to destroy those acres of land. We don't need another parking lot. What we do need is trees that clean the air. And again, I hope that you'll just let it be.
Thank you for your time. I need to clear a few things up. I don't know who's walking in the area that everyone's talking about in Area 2. It needs to be remediated. We have been told what is in the area. There's a signs that say do not enter, so no one's walking in this area. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna remediate it. We're gonna make it look beautiful, and if there is a carve out for the dinosaurs, there's a carve out for the dinosaurs. But everyone continues to come up here and says it's a beautiful area, it's this, it's not. Right now, we're gonna make it beautiful. Just like Mr. Quinn stated in the beginning of the meeting, how we've constantly funded open space and anything to do with open space. We are gonna make that area beautiful, we're gonna leave the majority of it as open space, and we're gonna clean it up and remediate it. And so I just want to make sure that everyone understands that point. No one is walking in that area right now. No one. And if they are, they're doing it illegally.
I understand that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and we appreciate your getting that construction debris out of there, so it can be a great place for people to walk.
And it will be. And that is what this board is gonna do, and that's what the administration is gonna do. Maybe we don't agree on how all of the space is gonna be, occupied, but one thing is for certain, that space will be used for the residents of Bergen County, and it will be beautiful.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is closed to the public. Will the clerk please read the resolutions on the consent agenda?
Resolutions of consent are 95918 through 100218.
May I have a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent agenda as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Brian.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli is absent. Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 6 ayes, the consent agenda passes.
Thank you. Are there any resolutions pulled, postponed, or tabled? If so, will the clerk please read?
There are none.
Thank you. We will now have Freeholder committee reports. I'd ask that we be as brief and responsive as possible. Tonight, we're going to start with Freeholder David Gans. David?
Thank you. And good evening. There's a time when you have to say goodbye to someone, and I'm going to be doing that this evening. Devin Baker, who has been my aide for the last 3 years, he's moving on to other and better things. Certainly an easier boss. But in any event, we have for him a proclamation declaring today Devin Baker Day in the county of Bergen. And I present it to him with my thanks.
Come on up, Devin.
Congratulations. Well deserved.
Let's get a photo op.
Brian, can you take a picture of these? We'll put this on the county website. Two handsome fellas.
Thank you.
Yay, Devin.
Not to interrupt David's report, but Devin, I would just like to say thank you. It's a pleasure working with you, and I'll say more nicer things about you in my report.
I'm going to defer the rest of my report to a written report, which I asked the chair include in the minutes.
That's sure, so moved. So when you defer time, the best person to give it to would be Freeholder Tracy Zur.
I will happily use all of that time. Thank you, Chairman. First of all, one of the first things I did last week was speak to some of the students at Bergen Technical School, the public policy students. What sharp, amazing kids. And just to give all of my colleagues a heads up, they're coming to the county building on October 19th and are going to be requesting meetings with you, all in forwarding of their project where they're analyzing different public policy issues and are going to be seeking your input. So just beware, they're armed with very sharp questions. This morning we had the PSOC, the Public Safety Operations Center Advisory Council meeting, and I will tell you, all of our chiefs and our OEM personnel and our firefighters are in constant communication between all the different towns and municipalities, brainstorming, talking about how we can better communications, how we can better our response times, how we can make sure that 911 services are provided more efficiently and effectively throughout the county. Some of the things that were highlights of the meeting were initiatives that they're working on as far as increasing video storage so that it's more affordable for municipalities to store footage from body cameras and dash cameras, making sure we do that as a shared service for a minimal fee, making sure dispatcher training is available to the towns, making themselves, their facility available in emergencies when a town might have to vacate their police headquarters and use them as a makeshift dispatch center, available for our disaster recovery, IT support. All of those things are services that the county provides to our municipalities so that we can make sure that we have a seamless continuum of care, actually, for all of our law enforcement folks and our first responders. I also was so pleased to be at the check presentation in Ridgefield Park this week. It is a commitment of all of us to make sure that we are preserving our open spaces, enhancing our opportunities for our individuals to engage with nature, and to remember that this is the garden state, and that we have a responsibility to make sure that we have open spaces available. One of the biggest things that I was able to be at this week, which is so important to me, was the first anniversary of Newbridge Medical Center. Last year, on October 1st, Newbridge was a new life for our county hospital. And this is an important facility that provides a safety net for those who are most needy in our community. It is the only in all of North Jersey facility for those with mental illness who require inpatient addiction services. Freeholder Sullivan, Freeholder Voss, and I were active in pushing them to go under. It was constantly fighting with BRMC to get more services. They improved from 52 to 80 detox beds. But Newbridge is really embracing their mission, enhancing the culture over there, making them so much more responsive. Worker safety is at the forefront. Their interactivity with the community and outreach and providing for mental health services is enhanced tremendously, but it's really the relationship with Rutgers and the bringing of new doctors and a new vision and a new level of care over there that is so tremendous. So I am so grateful for Deb Visconti and for the entire Board of Care Plus and Integrity House and all of them who are involved in making sure that our county hospital is providing top-notch care for our residents. On a similar note, we have also, it's hard to say celebrated, we marked this week the Night for Recovery. Bringing it kind of a moment for us to mourn those who we lost and realize that there are far, far too many of them who are still battling, especially with this opioid epidemic. I spoke to the prosecutor's office this morning. We have such an uptick since last year at the same time in not only opioid fatalities, but uses and deployment of Narcan and Narcan saves. We are really bursting at the seams as far as the use of our recovery coaches, which is something everyone on this board has advocated for. And we are working collaboratively with our sheriff's department, our prosecutor's office, the county hospital, and all of those in county government to educate and to provide continued service as we continue to battle the opioid epidemic. I just want to give one little plug. This year, I was part of MEVO, which is a community garden up in Mahwah that operates in Darlington Park. They're having their gala this Saturday, but more importantly than that, being part of that co-op and getting fresh produce that's grown here in Bergen County was something that was so fulfilling for my family this summer. I encourage all of you to be part of that. And finally, I just want to draw attention to some of the legislation that's on our agenda this evening, 963-18 through 966, where we are accepting grants, where our Workforce Development Board and our One-Stop Career Center are going to be engaging and making sure that those who are facing loss of employment have the tools. We had a presentation at our work session today where it highlighted that 285 kids have gotten diplomas, others have gotten other certification in occupational therapy because of these grants and because of the way that our One Stop is utilizing them to make sure that people are getting back to work in Bergen County. So. All right, I did that as fast as I possibly could, Mr. Chairman. Finally, last but not least, our job fair is on October 12th at Bergen Community College from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Anyone who's seeking a job, there are going to be a lot of employers there. There are usually almost 100 different employers and a lot of opportunities for employment. So if you need a job, the job fair is October 12th. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. And now you know why, if there's any deferred time, Tracy. I hope there's something left for the rest of the freeholders to report. But Tracy works very hard, and thank you, Trace.
Thank you.
Freeholder Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Thank you, Chairman. This past week, we had a wonderful ceremony here at Freeholder Chamber celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, which is from September 15th to October 15th. And it was established as Hispanic Heritage Month to mark the anniversary of independence of 8 Latin American countries: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Mexico, Chile, and Belize. We had 6 honorees have contributed to their communities or throughout the state or even our country in many ways. We had community service honoree, business, law enforcement, military, and education. We also had several speakers, performers, and cuisine that reflected our culture and traditions. Just being part of this board, it's always, to me, I always enjoy that how we all as a board and the administration always embrace our diversity, and that we continue to embrace our diversity in so many ways by always celebrating all our different traditions and cultures. That was very nice. My colleague, Freeholder Amoroso, and myself, and County Executive Jim Tedesco attended the groundbreaking of the Hall of Fame, the New Jersey Hall of Fame, which has actually been a large,
Trailer.
like a trailer, basically, that travels around the state of New Jersey. Well, they have finally found a home, and that's why we had our groundbreaking at the Meadowlands, and it's going to be at the American Dream, which they're expecting to open in summer of 2020. And we're very proud of the American Dream because it's going to bring many, many jobs to the employees of to many of in Bergen County. And it's also being built by all our brothers and all our union brothers and sisters. So that's a great project. We also attended, our colleagues and I, the Human Services Advisory Council, which they have an annual meeting every year. And at this meeting, they always have a special award that's called the Cecilia Weissman Memorial Award, which is usually given to someone that has just given back to so much of their community or what they've done. And this year was given to Soraya Gonzalez, which is actually a good friend of mine that I've known for almost the past 20 years. And throughout, I'd say in the last 20 years, we keep bumping into each other. She's always doing so much for her community as a teacher. She got Teacher of the Year. She's always doing so many different things, either with her parish or with Greater Bergen County Action. I know she's one of the chair members, and she's also on the board, I think, on the board for the credit union. And well-deserved for Soraya. She's a great individual. We also were lucky enough to hear from Deborah Bisconi, who was our speaker, and Tracy spoke a lot about it, but she was talking about all the accomplishments that they've had at Newbridge Medical Center in the past year. And it's unbelievable the amount of the accomplishments they've had. And I can go on, but I think freeholders are already, so I'm not going to go on that. And we also had elections of our new officers, and it was a very nice event. And I guess I'll end it there.
Thank you, Vice Chairwoman. Freeholder Voss.
Thank you, Chairman. Education, of course, is my passion, and last month actually was International Literacy Month. I'm very active in adult literacy programs, and one of the things that I think many people in Bergen County don't realize, that even in a county as large as Bergen, we have over 140,000 adults who really cannot read. And so one of the organizations that I'm on the board is Project Literacy. We only deal with adults. And of course, the people who are part of Project Literacy, all of the tutors are volunteers. There is no cost to the students, and it's a wonderful program because it's one-on-one, so there is no stigma attached to it. There are no classrooms. It's all at your own rate of speed. But one of the things that Project Literacy needs is money to run these programs. We have many, many people who would like to get into the program, but it's difficult because of the fact that we have only about 150 teachers. We're talking about Deborah Vasconi. We're having a gala for Project Literacy on October 12th. And one of our honorees is going to be Deborah Vasconi because she has done so much at Newbridge. And we're also going to do something for Bergen Community College, which has a lot of programs so that adults can hone their skills. So that's on October 12th at the Stony Hill. And of course, I try to get everybody involved in getting money for Project Literacy, and so my Rotary Club is also having a gala on October 19th, and all of the funds that we raise will go to Project Literacy. I think that many of us attended several 911 ceremonies. I know I went to about 4 of them and spoke. And it's so important that even though this was 17 years ago, we cannot forget that we constantly have to be aware and alert, because what happened on 911 is possible to happen again. And so we have to be alert and aware. We mentioned about the wonderful diversity here in Bergen County. And about 2 weeks ago, the Korean community has shared with us Chul Suk, which is their Thanksgiving, and we certainly have a lot to be thankful for. And this was the 17th annual Chul Suk ceremony, and it was a wonderful thing, and I think I've been to all 17 of them. One of the things we want to do is encourage people to get involved in government. 53% of the population of this country are women. And some of us, and as you can see up here, the majority are women. And we would like to love men, don't get me wrong, but we really would like to get more women involved. And so we honored at the We Do Brunch 2 women who have done a tremendous amount. Liz Calabrese, who was a freeholder, and Bernadette McPherson, who was also a freeholder. And one of the things is to get people to know that it's never too late to get involved. And, you know, I always get very annoyed when people say, oh, I'm too old. You're never too old until you're not here anymore. Jim Thieberry is in charge of our disability services, and I think that many people in Bergen County do not know that we provide many, many services, not only to the disabled, but to the senior citizens, to children's services. And we had a luncheon honoring the caregivers, because there are so many people who are disabled who have caregivers, but they need a respite. And so we provide those kinds of services. And Jim Thieberry, as I said, is absolutely phenomenal. So if anybody ever needs assistance, let us know, and we can put you into contact with the services that you may need. We had the Bergen County POWMIA recognition ceremony. I don't think that a lot of people realize that there are still thousands and thousands of military personnel from Korea, from Vietnam, from World War II, who have never been accounted for, and it's very important. And I think just recently, North Korea sent back the remains of some of the service people who were killed during the Korean War, and hopefully everybody will at some point have closure. Just a little lightheartedness. Bergen County has a bocce ball tournament, and we have bocce ball teams. I have never played before, but now I am a bocce ball fan, and we will be doing this. It's a wonderful sport for people.
She was good. We attest.
It's a wonderful sport for people who, you know, just like to get out there and have a little camaraderie. And we had many, many teams, and I know that we have enthused so many people that we're going to have a lot more Tommy next year. One more thing. This morning, I attended the groundbreaking of something that I think is going to be a boon to Bergen County. We have in my hometown of Fort Lee, the Fort Lee, it's a cultural, and it's all about the film industry. And many people don't realize it, but Fort Lee was the birthplace of the film industry. And having been living in Fort Lee all my life, and my family there for 100 years, my father, as a little child, was like a walk-on and stuff in some of the silent movies that were made back then. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is going to be the John Barrymore Theater. It's going to be absolutely fantastic, and we have quite a lot of funding, but we can also always use more. It's not going to be your regular movie theater. It's going to be a cultural art center, and it's also going to be a museum to the film industry. And we were very grateful that recently Governor Murphy put back the tax credits so that people can do television shows and movies here in New Jersey, and it's an incentive, and it's a wonderful thing. And I can remember, was a young person, Goodfellas was made half a block away from my house, and it was really, it's so exciting. And this is going to be a great opportunity. We think that this will probably be finished in about a year, and it'll hold 260 seats. There'll be all kinds of performances. This is not a movie theater like the regular movie theaters. This is going to be a cultural and art theater. And I'm very excited about it. And Tom Myers is the catalyst who has brought this about. And this morning we had almost every politician and everybody who is associated with the motion pictures and film industry in Fort Lee. So I'm really excited about that. So pardon me for going on too long, but that was a really good thing. Thank you, Chairman.
You done? Oh, you sure?
You know what?
Thank you, Freeholder boss. Freeholder Amoroso.
Our administrator, Mike Bellucci, wants everyone to remember that they filmed big in Cliffside Park, right? Cliffside? Yeah.
We had good fellas.
So, yes, Freeholder Ortiz and I wore hard hats for the groundbreaking at the New Jersey Hall of Fame at the American Dream. And I just wanted to point out a couple of inductees. Of course, Frank Sinatra, of course. Tony Bennett, who was from River Edge, I think. Albert Einstein, who taught at Princeton. And Harriet Tubman. I thought, we were asking each other, how was Harriet Tubman linked here? Well, she based her Underground Railroad slave freeing operation out of Cape May. And she would take little incursions into Maryland, get some of these freed slaves she was freeing and bring them back. So out of Cape May. Also, last week we attended the announcement of a partnership between Rutgers University and our medical examiner's office. Medical examiners around the state have been in a state of crisis, too much work and not enough experts to do the job. So based on our partnership with Rutgers for Newbridge Medical Center, we spoke to the people who are in charge of the division in Rutgers, and now we will have a joint project. Their people and their interns are going to come through our medical examiner's office. And this will help both with criminal autopsies and also investigating trends in public health, because you got to see what people are dying of to treat public health. This weekend, at Vanson Park, we attended the Fall Festival, celebrating our agricultural heritage and our Master Gardeners program. We were back at Vanson on Sunday to celebrate Disability Awareness Day at the Vanson Zoo. We did hit the Fort Lee Senior Citizens Picnic, which is always a big event. And in Ridgewood on Sunday, we attended a somber Gold Star Mothers commemorative service to remember the families who lost loved ones in various military engagements. It's our way of telling the families and ourselves that we will never forget. A shout out to the online retail giant Amazon, which did what Bergen County did a while ago. It instituted a $15 an hour minimum wage in its operation to begin to give people a shot at a living wage. And a while back, we had a number of students from the Bergen County Academies, I believe, come to talk to us about the hazard to the environment represented by plastic bags. Governor Murphy has vetoed a plan to charge 5 cents for every plastic bag, saying it doesn't do enough to cut into plastic bag use, but now lawmakers are considering a move to ban plastic bags and charge more for brown paper bags, so everybody start using your reusable bags. Finally, we had to cancel Bergen County's senior citizen picnic, which is a very big deal, 3 times because of rain and flooding and thunder. So we are saying to our senior citizens, we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. So, in continuing with our commitment to providing savings for the taxpayers of Bergen County, tonight the Freeholder Board has approved a shared service agreement with the various municipalities to assist in their live auctions for vehicles. In addition, we approved a resolution for shared service agreement with the Beckton Regional School Board for vehicle maintenance and repair services. We continue to find ways to save the municipality's money, and by doing that, the county saves money. If we continue to share services, what happens is you get a 0% tax increase like you got this year. So we continue to look for ways to save money. It gives me a great pleasure to announce that Bergen County's congressional representatives, Bill Pascrell and Congressman Gottheimer, were able to obtain 3 HUD grants for Bergen County that total $12.6 million. The grants will be used to help provide housing to moderate and low-income residents and give aid to the county's homeless population. It will also provide temporary shelter for those seeking a home. I'd like to thank both of them for the great work they do, and especially Congressman Pascrell, who worked particularly hard to secure these funds for us. Just this past Sunday, a report by the Star-Ledger ranked all 21 New Jersey counties from highest to lowest for total overtime spent in 2017. I am proud to say that without sacrificing any services, Bergen County was in the lower third of that list. In fact, Bergen County spent $1.5 million less in total overtime than we budgeted for. This is a testament to the fiscal responsibility of our division of directors and our department heads, and I applaud them, as well as our county executive and all my colleagues on the Freeholder Board. A happy one-year anniversary, as everyone has talked about up here so far, to Newbridge Medical Center. Congratulations to Deb Visconti, a CEO, and all of the staff for their hard work. This hospital has proven to be a huge success, and we look forward to continued success in the years ahead. County Executive Tedesco made this a priority when he first ran for county executive. Everyone on the Freeholder Board has followed suit. Bergen County was needed in our community amid his challengers or anyone else who wanted to sell the property. Thank goodness that our county executive saw the need for this type of hospital in our county, and we all kept it. And now we are doing tremendous things. Freeholder Amoroso spoke about our shared service, which is the first in the state, between the Rutgers Medical School and the Bergen County Medical Examiner's Office. Again, another shared service that I continue to speak about, meeting after meeting. We are not sitting down here and not getting our work done. We are continuing to work regardless of who's what makeup on the board, and we're going to continue to move Bergen County forward. This partnership it's one of a kind. People are going to learn, and we're also going to benefit from their learning. And again, thanks to the relationship between Newbridge and Rutgers that we had already talked about with the one-year anniversary, because that was the partnership I'm talking about. We are able to continue to move the county forward and not only save money, but give the residents, the residents of Bergen County, options that you've never had before. So that concludes my report. I want to say thank you to everybody and have a good evening. Thank you. There being nothing further to come before this meeting, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:38. Thank you.